I was locked up on January 17th, 2017. And, it's going on 8 years. Been dead. I got sentenced to 35 years in New York State.
They prohibit you from being able to speak freely, but he can speak?
Well, he's working with the government. When you have a deal with the government, you don't have a case.
I know people give him some kind of props. I beat him up, took his gun, but my thing is, if that was true, if you ask me, you would have been shot. If
there you go.
If you had a gun,
there you go. You got a lot of common sense.
Yeah, like if I beat you up and take your gun and you right here in front of me, you a shot man. Right.
Officially, Ice has a very strong hip-hop opinions on unfortunate situations where rappers slapped him or whatever and took his fake jewelry from him and like that. But so that's why he fell back on Twitter for a minute and then he rebirthed himself with Joe.
You said that robbed Ice and took his fake jewelry.
Well, he used to wear a lot of fake jewelry. Well, the first thing he used to do was he's acting like he was BMF. That's how he got his identity on the internet.
No, bro. No,
yeah.
Bro. No.
Yeah, this is the truth. This is the truth. All this is the truth.
No.
All this is the truth.
No, bro. You can't just tell me that.
Yeah, I'm an innovator and creator. If you look at Joe, Joe's a copier. I pitched the show to Viceland. I pitched it to Complex, a couple platforms, and they all dug it. My producer was like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" I said, "We still gonna shoot it." We shot it. We sent it to Complex. We sent it to Viceland. 2 hours later, Complex emailed us back, said they wanted it. But we was already locked in, and it was called the pull-up for TaxStone. I go to jail a couple months later, and Joe Budden has a show called The Pull-Up.
Whoa.
He got snuffed by Wu-Tang, he ran. He got snuffed by Common, he ran. He got snuffed by this guy in the club. He fought for 2 seconds, and then he decided to run. You gotta do like Math Hoffa, who starts podcasting about me while I'm doing my trial. Just lying on me about a whole bunch of stuff. And he could never tell nobody what his beef with me is. And then next thing I know, he was inviting me to his block. I comes to the dual block. He don't come outside. I said, what did this girl tell this dude? Because out of everything you told him, you had to leave something else because he's highly confident and talk about me. So you had to leave a part of my description out.
Right. Yeah.
And it bothered me because it's like, oh, you don't like me because you feel like I have my and your girl. This is the issue here.
Now niggas want to loon me to death. Salute, Loon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's my man, Loon.
That's my man, too.
Both Loons. Old Loon, new Loon, both Loons.
Okay.
Yeah,
All ops must know it's up there and it's stuck there, nigga.
When it's up there, man, it's stuck there.
Shut up.
What's going on, bro? What you got going?
Nothing. What it look like?
Man, it's all good. It's always all good. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right, bet. Let me make sure this is together. Yo, we got TaxStone. For those of you that don't know, TaxStone is someone that was prominent in this game, still is prominent in this game. He ran into some unfortunate circumstances, and now he's fighting for his life behind bars for whatever reason. Today we're going to get into a little bit of that and catch up with Tax. He's a pioneer in this space, and those that know, they respect it. Those that don't know, don't matter. You dig what I'm saying? TaxStone, what's going on, bro?
Yeah, what's second, beloved? How are you?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. I'm more blessed than I've ever been, man. Checking in with you, man. You know, I've meaning to tap in with you on this vibe anyway, because we got a lot to talk about, man. You know what I'm saying?
He's so something.
It's always something, bro. What's your status right now, bro, with your case and things of that nature? And for those that don't know, give them the year you were locked up.
I was locked up on January 17th, 2017. And, it's going on 8 years. It's been down. I got sentenced to 35 years in New York State. I'm currently fighting uphill, and I'm getting sentenced in federal court sometime in September, for gun charge of 922G, felon in possession of a weapon.
I'm saying, you said you go to sentencing. Is that for another charge or?
Well, this charge that I have in federal is related to the state case. The state couldn't charge me with the gun because I didn't get caught with the gun. But in the feds can charge you with a gun. Doesn't matter if you get caught in Afghanistan. If two people say the same thing, it's yours or it's true in the feds. So, like, it could be two dudes sitting in the bullpen and they can say, yo, I know this dude named Loon, he sold me a brick in 1992. And then he says, yo, we could get him, and the dude would be like, yo, we can get out of jail on him. And he don't even got to know you. And he can say, all right, I remember when he sold you that brick in 1992. And he tells the federal government that, and that's now solid evidence. They don't need the brick. They don't need it to be on tape. Nothing whatsoever.
Damn, so because I got a homeboy right now that is fighting a constructive possession, and I think the circumstances is something like that. What is that official charge from the feds?
Basically, it's like they saying that you touched the gun before. So say you could have been a felon and you could have been a legal gun owner. You could have let your cousin hold the gun and just walk around with it. You didn't shoot nobody with it or nothing. But then you lost that legal gun. Somebody broke in your car and took it, and they did a crime with it. So now that person got locked up with the gun, but the felon's DNA was on the gun also. So now they give him possession.
Damn.
Saying basically he was never supposed to touch a gun. Constitution states that everyone has the right to bear arms, and there's no exceptions. But the federal government made a law, I think in about 1960 maybe, and it was basically 922G, felon in possession of a weapon. And the reason that law was created was because the Black Panthers was going up to court with guns to protect people that was being held unjustly. When they realized that the Black Panthers had the right to carry them guns, they said, we need a way to make sure that these dudes can't carry these guns. So we all know that the whole prison system and police system is systematic racism. So who's the majority of felons in the United States?
Yeah.
Black people.
Right.
So this is why we have this charge called felon in possession of a weapon. If you look up the girl Lily that just went viral on social media for saying the word, she put out a video the other day and she said, according to the law and the Constitution, if that guy robbed somebody with a gun and he got locked up for robbery, the day he get out of jail, he should be able to pick his gun back up. And that's the God honest truth. But they made these laws for people. Felon in possession of a weapon is not a law that was created for whites. It was created to keep black people from possessing weapons.
Damn, dude. That's and I imagine a lot of people fighting through that. Cause my homeboy with the constructive,
millions.
Yeah, my homeboy with the constructive possession, cause his record's so fucked up, he facing a life sentence for that. And it's like they just had a girl say that it's a gun somewhere, and they went in there, got it, and the feds picked the case up. It's weird, man. But so even if you come back on appeal for the 35 years, is that what he gave you? 35?
Yeah, and I sentenced 35 years in the state.
Yeah, so if you come back on appeal on that, how does that tie in with the feds?
I would be going home. I would be going home because it doesn't affect the possession in the federal courts because this is separate jurisdiction. I'm not really going to get that much time over there. I'm most likely getting time served of 10 years. And the amount of time that I have in is 10 years.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I was listening to you, you know, you've been up on Spaces, man. It's a bunch of, like, tell me what's up with Spaces, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what's good with that. I know about the money part, but tell me, like, it's a lot going on over there, man.
Well, the reason I did Spaces was because I heard that it was corny. So people was like, yo, Spaces is corny. So I was like, who said that? So when they showed me the people that said it, it was corny dude.
Yeah.
I was like, how a corny dude gonna tell me what's corny? And he didn't identify himself as corny yet. So I can't trust him. So I'm gonna start doing Spaces. So I started doing Spaces a couple weeks ago, just around because some dude named Flacco that works for Adam was talking crazy about me. So I just wanted to address him. And I started doing it. Now all of a sudden, a lot of dudes doing Spaces.
Yeah. But you know, I think you for you it's a play though. I get it. I get it 100% in your circumstances. But like, if I ain't in your room, when I just see, cause I see some of the clips come online, and it's like people are building their profile on those interactions, which is cool. You know, each one teach one, but I don't know. I just think the conversations could be packaged better. You know what I'm saying? Not that they don't need to be had, but I think the redistribution of the content is like all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I think.
Well, you know, it's like a playground basically. It's like a, you know what I mean? It's like a lunchroom.
Right.
And you letting anybody say something. You letting anybody ask any question. So that's basically what it is. It's just, and you can moderate it. You can say only I'm going to talk.
Right.
Or only these two people going to talk and just let everybody listen. And then gradually you can have people ask questions and things of that nature.
See, when I see you on it, I understand. You've been down 10 years. Your voice is still your voice, right? You still who you are to this game. So, you know, that's an outlet for you. But then when I look and see Joe on there all day, I'm like, yo, something is like, I don't be getting it. Like,
but this is the thing, though. This is why Spaces is good. You get to interact with your fans. Let me tell you one good thing that Joe Budden does. Joe Budden befriends his fans. All the people that ever has been on Joe Budden couch was his fans. Those wasn't his friends.
Yeah.
You don't know those people. These are people that like his music, kept telling him they like his music, and then he just invites them to the house for the pool. Right. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't know them people. Probably like Queen Flip, like the game. You know, and I think Webb's brother who once signed them dude, and then you got Melissa Ford. You probably knew she was being in the game. He needed a female point of view, but then everybody else is fans.
I think
dudes on the internet that constantly hit them up.
I don't know how long he been knowing Ish, but I think him and Ish been knowing each other for a while. But he's always, like you said, he was already in the game at 21. So it ain't like he grew up with them dudes. Them dudes could have came as fans of him to be around him because he was a rapper, even if he was broke back then. He still was Joe Budden. You know?
Yeah, he was known.
Yeah.
He had a record called Pump It Up, and you had basically Jay-Z, one of the biggest rappers, throw a shot at you.
Right. So he did his one too.
Yeah. He was known or whatever, you know what I mean, in his face or whatever. See, the thing is that Joe Budden knows how to talk. When I diss Joe Budden, I'm dissing his character as a man. As a man, I think you as a man, I think you Caitlyn. I think you was once Bruce, or you know what I mean, but you should just understand that you Caitlyn. You know what I mean? So it's like the thing, like, because he's not a real dude. Like, this is a dude I spoke to on and off my whole bid. I was with the dude the night before I got arrested. Very respectful, very calm. Yeah, he was the SOBs. He'll tell you, unless he feel like lying. But you know, there was people there, witnesses who was chilling. The only time he had strong grievances towards anyone is when they're not in front of him. He had strong grievances towards the Migos, right? Until he was on the red carpet.
Right.
He had strong grievances towards Wu-Tang until they seen them. He had strong grievances towards Points until he seen them. He only has strong grievances with me because I'm not in his presence.
Yeah.
So you can't respect a man that can't stand on the feet that he claimed that he has, that he only uses to run.
Yeah. But see, I think, you know, yo, bro, I know shit about them dudes, man, like crazy. But here's the thing, right? I believe he can speak too. I believe he can podcast. That's, you know, I take him to be a talkative guy, to be sitting around talking and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's educated in music.
Yeah.
He's not educated in anything else. He's educated in music. And he has a strong vocabulary.
Right.
That's his skill set.
Right.
He doesn't know politics. He doesn't even know common sense.
But you know, I still think that being that interactive with the fans comes with a cost, man. I understand the community building side of it, right? Because the people feel like they're close to you. But then you get some people that come out of that with a level of like you owe them, or like you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's just a weird interaction.
Nah, it's a strategy. It is a strategy that works for Joe. Joe grew up on the internet, right? He's always been an internet dude.
Right.
And just like I said, if Joe throws a concert right now rapping, they'll fill it up. Not maybe a stadium or some arena. He does like a small place like Hammerstein Ballroom. Because he's so interactive with his fans, those 3,000 people will come see him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know how to do that, and that's a gift that he has. He's literally like Rory, all those people who's fans of him. Like these are not dudes that he think and felt like, yo, this dude got a strong skill set and we can collaborate on work, or you're a marketer, you can work here, you're a producer, you do beats. No, these are dudes that actually was a fan of him and kept reaching out to him, and then next thing you know, he's hanging with them. The thing is that he kept them in fan positions.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
But see, my thing is this: you call it the Joe Budden Show, but you can't do Joe Budden Dolo without going to sleep.
Right.
This is why he always needs company. You know, his podcast started. I'll name this podcast later. It was him and Marissa Mendez, and then after that, you know, with Rory and Mahal, and then he changed the name to the Joe Budden Show.
I think at some point he tried to phase out and he'll dump all of them. It may be 10 years down the road, but at some point he's looking to do that. Also, I'll say this too. To me, you know, like I've been watching Joe Budden the last couple of episodes. You know, I haven't watched in a while. The last couple of episodes I watched, I said, it seems like sometimes that he's paying for a live audience. You know, like those people there are not necessarily co-hosts, but he needs to feed off their energy, and he needs to kind of feed off them being there and laughing and saying things. But like you said, when he goes one-on-one with the camera, I'm interested in seeing how, you know, that translates into the market. I don't know if it goes as far as that. They have a thing, man, where it feels like they feed off each other. And that, granted, that is what podcasting is, but you know, I think that it says something when you can crank the mic up and one-on-one and people be interested. Like I did my whole career like that. You did too.
Well, you know, I think he could actually do an interview with somebody on a one-on-one. I just think he's going free. That's it, and I think he knows that, and this is why he keeps company around. So you know, it's like the scared dude. They always got to keep 100. Like he'd be like, "Y'all roll 100 deep." I'd be like, "They're scared to death." What you need 100 people for?
Yeah. So you don't think the one-on-one interviews he do are like with Nicki Minaj like that? Them ain't nothing.
It's dirt. You know, just like you said, he needs the company to feed off him. I think dudes like officially icing them to have their own podcast. Just being, you know, on the Joe Budden Show.
Right.
Officially Ice has like very strong hip-hop opinions. Like when I first got on Twitter, he was one of the most popular people on Twitter talking about hip-hop.
Yeah, but this
he
is
was
more than that.
Unfortunate situations where rappers slept or whatever and took his fake jewelry from him and like that. But so that's why he fell back on Twitter for a minute, and then he rebirthed himself with Joe.
You said that niggas robbed Ice and took his fake jewelry.
Well, you know, he used to wear a lot of fake jewelry. Well, the first thing he used to do was he's acting like he was BMF. That's how he got his identity on the internet.
No, bro. No, bro. No.
So this is the truth. This is the truth. All this is the truth.
No.
All this is the truth.
No, bro. You can't just tell
like
me that.
He would act like he was BMF, you know what I mean? And that's where he basically got known from being on the internet. People thought this dude was BMF. I thought he was BMF. A whole bunch of people. And he started saying certain shit about certain people, you know what I mean? Like Meek Mill and them, seeing him in spots, and then he didn't want no smoke. You know what I mean? And like, he's a cool dude, but he got good music opinions. Like I'd be respecting when officially Ice talk about music. Some violence.
But now we know this is more than just opinions, right? This is more. You got to have more than just opinions to really be a tycoon in this game, or to be a person of notoriety, right? And when I look at him, do not get him confused. He done tried to branch off, and I don't know if the numbers was numbering. You see what I'm saying? Like, he done went and done something with caffeine, went and done something with Twitch. See, they secretly do it because they not like us when it comes to, I'm coming on out with this shit, whatever it do, I'm hustling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They ain't doing that. They trying to keep their profile up because they now over there with Joe Budden, and they more corporatized. So they thinking about profile. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when he went to caffeine, man, he rarely even mentioned it when he was on Joe Budden's show. And for me, that says so much, right? For you to have to be able to run some of your audience over there for you get a chance to re-up. Because we all know they'll give you a bag. These numbers ain't numbering. You don't get no more money. You know what I'm saying? But he's tried. So this is more than opinions. But I think that's interesting. What the made you think that thought he was BMF, though?
I have no idea. You know, the Twitter when I first got on in 2009, I just came from prison. Right. So I wasn't really like sure.
I'm saying, was he saying this shit? Was he saying I'm BMF?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I think he had. Listen, I'm not for sure. He might have had a fake BMF chain.
Man, what the fuck?
Yeah, like if my memory is correct, this is what he did. And his name was officially Ice, and I think it was Free BMF or some shit. He was always often talking about BMF a lot. So it was like people kind of thought he was affiliated with them at some point.
So I guess
so that's how he gained his identity on the internet.
Okay, so now I understand why they say he loved Jeezy and all of this. Maybe is he thinking he be like it? Yo, for me, nigga, what?
Well, you know, to each his own. Like everybody, like I'm not gonna say everybody because I'm not really into the mask wearing. You know what I mean? But a lot of people come out the house trying to act like other people.
Yeah, bro.
But I think he actually found himself now. That's why I used to chop his ass down all the time on the internet.
How as niggas, I'm saying respectfully to Ice, because I don't got no problem with him. But for him to be on there now screaming, I be in the house, Joe Budden them kind of crack on him for being like in the house and never coming outside and things like that when he was young. How in the fuck did he go from that to his identity I was in BMF? How the internet ain't saying that? That's not known information, bro. I didn't even know that, bro. And I'm from the South, and I'm one of them men for real. I didn't know that. You know, I don't know what that's about. That's some crazy shit for me to hear. Like that's deep, bro. Yeah, that's crazy for me. But like I've been watching Joe Budden the last couple of episodes,
bro. The way my vision when I look at these people, they don't even exist.
Yeah.
Like it's like I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why when certain people say shit to me, I'll be like, bro, I would never speak to you. Like I wouldn't know you. Like I knew some Joe Budden songs. Like I used to listen to some of his freestyles because the nigga know how to rap. But my thing is this. You can't fool vocabulary with intellect. So when I see that this nigga's like mad good as a rapper, I realize, yo, he just has vocabulary. He's not that smart. He's not that sharp. He always gotta fuck with a young ass bitch that's a sex worker. Like, there's not one girl he's had that's not on the internet selling some type of pussy or OnlyFans. He ain't had one bitch that like just good with a computer, you know? Like, not one. Like, you go down his list and it's all sex workers. And my man had just told me, he was like, yo, this bad drink from IG be hitting me up. And I'm like, oh, word, what y'all was talking about or whatever. He was like, nah, shorty talking about she want a Birkin. She'll come see me in jail. I said, so you willing to buy her a Birkin to come see you? So I said, my nigga, he's a sex worker. So anybody could buy her. It's like a shoe. You go to the store, you buy the shoe.
Right.
So that's nothing to brag about. Show me the girl that don't sell sex. Who's convinced that you was cute and you was a smooth talker and she liked your hair. What's that girl in?
Yeah, because half of the in that game, half of their job is to inflate your ego anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they gonna tell you that guy, you soft, you speak so nice and smell so good because you got some money on the table. That's part of that.
Listen, if you see the episode when I kicked Joe Budden out the studio, I told him, I said, I'm not one of them third world country bitches that you fuck with, that you could just use these big words with and they're gonna sit there and think it's true because they don't know what the words mean.
Right.
I'm not that person. So he needs that. He has to deal with P-body women. Like, these women ain't, come on, bro. Give them an academic test and just see what they score. They ain't that right.
Right.
It's like, it's no coincidence that every girl that you've had in the public since we known you is some form of sex worker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a nigga tweeted the other day, I think him tweet, he was like, man, nobody fuck with Joe Budden list. I said, shit, a lot of niggas can fuck with this. All you gotta do is pay for the pussy. What you talking about? You like, it's for sale.
Yeah, you've been in that damn near. So what do you think about Charlamagne and Joe Budden's like shit? What, you know, sometimes they have, I won't call it a beef. Charlamagne is my brother. He don't look at it like a beef, but there's something. What do you think about their relationship, Charlamagne and Joe Budden?
I don't really know what their relationship is. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't really be asking Charlamagne about shit like that. But
No.
what I do know is that Joe is like jealous a little bit of Charlamagne. He feel like the Breakfast Club makes him look a certain way, or they might joke on him, and he's not gonna take certain jokes too kindly. He's gonna want to combat it. So I think that's what his thing is with Charlamagne. And Charlamagne gonna call a spade when it's a spade. So
Nah,
he
here's the
feels
thing,
like, yo,
right?
if you're my ally, don't call a spade on me.
Right. Yeah. But here's the thing. So they used to do content together. There was a clear relationship. Something happened at the Spotify situation. I talked to Charlamagne about it on my podcast. So he spoke a little bit about, you know, kind of where he believes it comes from, where their relationship is separated. But it's interesting because if we're being honest, I don't know though, man. What do you think about us? Did you ever see any of those end of the year shows that they did and shit together? Like, what do you think about content when they do content together? I'm trying to think, do it really hit? I know it's two big audiences.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's massive.
I can't necessarily speak on it honestly because I don't like podcasts, which I really don't speak on.
Right.
I don't really like podcasts. I'll listen to some clips and get the substance of it,
Right.
but I got a short attention span, so listening a whole hour and a half to something that's like not really interesting, and I'm not really interested in music. Like, I like it. Like, we could talk about some shit real fast, but then it'd be like, because like the new rap and shit like that, it's not for me. And it's not that it ain't for me. I just don't feel it has substance the way songs just gonna stick 20 years later. Like, I was just singing a Roddy Ricch song the other day. I threw some new fudge, he's on the Jeep. I said, yeah, that's a good feeling record. That shit gonna be playing at barbecues 10 years from now.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
I'm the same way. I I don't really consume a lot of music, and my conversations or anything don't really surround music a lot. But because we're in podcasting, right? When I look at Charlamagne and Joe and them doing content, I'm looking at how much money that could be made. But I'm wondering, was the juice worth the squeeze? You know what I'm saying? But you maybe haven't saw any of it, or you, like you said, not pay attention to it. But for me, I always look at shit and wonder what it's worth. Like sometimes I wonder if you was out, what would you do? What we can do? What that's worth? Like it's so much money on the table. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to forecast.
I'm an innovator and creator. You know, if you look at Joe's a copier. You know what I mean? Like these dudes, they need leadership.
Right.
You know, I started a show I pitched the show to Viceland. I pitched it to Complex, a couple platforms, and they all dubbed it. My producer was like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" I said, "We still gonna shoot it, and after we shoot it, we gonna send it back to them niggas because you gotta remember, you're talking to a whole bunch of people that don't have vision. If your third eye is blind and you don't understand and know how to take a person's words and visualize it, you always gonna think it's bullshit." So I said, "We gonna shoot this shit." We shot it. We sent it to Complex. We sent it to Viceland. 2 hours later, Complex emailed us back, said they wanted it. We ended up locking it in with Complex, and Viceland hit me up the next day, and they wanted it. But we was already locked in, and it was called The Pull Up Attack Stone. I only got to shoot one episode. I did it with Day Day from Atlanta. It's on YouTube. I go to jail a couple months later, and Joe Budden has a show called The Pull Up.
Whoa.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't get mad. I just was like, he's copying me again. You know what I mean? Because he has a tendency, anytime somebody brings me up, he's like, oh, he's no one, but he always talking about me.
Right.
No, I'm someone. I always was a threat to you. You had 1 million followers when I first seen you. You still got 1 million followers. And I was still doing over maybe 80,000 more views than you ever. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I used to tweet this post out that MTV2 put out, and they just basically was like, "Yo, who has the best podcast at the time?" And I was like, "Yo, matter of fact, I got the majority of the vote. It was me, Drink Champs. I'll name this podcast later, Elliot Wilson." And the reason I posted recently was because he was talking about how I wasn't shit. I'm like, no, you could say I'm not shit now. I've been going for 8 years.
Yeah.
But nigga, when I was outside, you couldn't talk about a podcast without hearing my name. You couldn't present your podcast without somebody saying, yo, but what about TaxStone?
That's a fact. That's a whole.
So don't act like I wasn't stepping on your neck. If the people voted that, MTV2 tweeted that, and it was only about, because you see at the bottom of the poll, it's only like 1,600 people voted. But how do I end up with 80% of the vote out of all of y'all?
Yeah.
So don't try to belittle me and make it seem like, oh, you wasn't doing you. I just came out of prison. I started podcasting and I was doing live shows with 1,500 people pulling up to listen to me talk for an hour and a half.
Right. And that's what I'm telling niggas. And that's the blueprint, right? So what I like about it and how I'm building mine is the same way, where it's like, be able to hold this thing down by yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? You and one person, if you got a guest, but if not, be able to crank up and have some shit to, you know, pour into the culture. I think a lot of these niggas just be talking. How do you feel when he be saying like you're irrelevant and shit like that? Like, do you feel a way about that?
Yeah. But first of all, what's irrelevant? Irrelevant is to you. But how could a person be irrelevant if his name's always in your mouth? That's like me saying he irrelevant. He can't be irrelevant. I'm always talking about the nigga.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's be honest. So it's like, you can say whatever you want to say. Your issue with me is that I'm such a strong force that I've been down for 8 years and I can still say something and it'll vibrate straight to your desk.
Yeah. And you know what?
That's your issue.
When I think about podcasting, really, it was you, him, Nori. New York was cluttered for a minute. You know what I'm saying? He really got it by himself because Charlamagne ain't a podcaster. He's a mogul. So he really got it by himself when it come to podcasting. Nori's in Florida now. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer there. It's really now just Joe Budden running around. You know, when y'all all was up there, he can feel that pressure. The pressure was on. You know what I'm saying? It's a different thing now.
Yeah, so that's basically what it is. That niggas are lame.
Yeah, I know they.
But I just don't respect men who always got something to say about somebody. But when you see them, it's a whole different speech. So it's like, bro, you can't chill out.
They said you had got him punched out. What's that about, man?
I didn't get that nigga punched out. Somebody just punched that nigga that was a fan. The nigga DM'd me and told me. He was like, yo, I just snubbed Joe Budden in the club.
Yeah.
I was like, word? He was like, yeah, I've been fucking with your shit for years. I said, all right, thank you. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, that's funny. But
you know, look at him. This is the same character. You gotta listen to what this guy says. He got snuffed by Wu-Tang, he ran. He got snuffed by Common, he ran. He got snuffed by this guy in the club. He fought for 2 seconds, and then he decided to run. This guy runs his mouth, and he runs a lot.
He ran in the club that night?
Yeah, he ran. And didn't even have to. It was a straight physical hand altercation.
Wow.
So that was my issue with him, because he told me I was running from a nigga that had a gun on me. I said, I thought you supposed to run when a nigga got a gun.
Fuck you talking about. You posed
I thought that was standard operating procedure.
Man, come on, man. It's code of conduct, man.
So I'm like, if you running from niggas with fists, what the fuck you gonna do when a nigga pull a gun out for you, beloved?
Yeah. I didn't know.
So, you know, he just contradicted himself.
He acted like he fought that night, though. He had a broke hand and shit, I think.
No, he didn't have no broke hand. He fought that dude for 2 seconds. He didn't even hit him, actually. My man said, yo, he looked kind of good. Now, I will tell you somebody he fought. He fought Big B's, which is Nicki Minaj's security. Now, what I did for his image, I tweeted out, Joe Budden just had a fight with Big B. With my man Big B's. People didn't know who he was at the time. And Big B's told me after I beat up 3 of Joe Budden's friends, I fought Joe Budden last. He said, I'm not gonna lie, he almost took me because I was tired as hell from beating up his other 3 friends. So he still beat the nigga up though. Yeah. And the dude gets on his podcast and says, beat your man ass. But why you ain't tell him that when you was doing that Nicki Minaj interview up there and they had you under pressure? Because that was Big B's that had you sitting there.
Had sitting there what?
Did you ever see podcasts when Nicki Minaj first went up? The Joe Budden shit?
Oh, when she was calling them niggas out, like she was up there hot. She was mad with the yellow hair.
Big B's was there. Big B's was there. That was the dude that he fought that night. And you ain't say none of that shit to him. But you get into a passionate rant about me on the internet and you say, yeah, and I beat his man up. You talking about Big B? Bro.
So he talking about Big B's.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Right.
But you know he's gonna see Big B's and change the story.
Cause he wasn't specific. That's what you mean when you say he got vocabulary, play with the words and shit. I didn't say you
exactly. Word semantic genius.
Right.
But Big B's know that's who he was talking about. Cause who else you talking about? You ain't never fought nobody else I know.
Right. When you talk about your case at this point, can it affect anything?
Well, I still haven't really discussed my case. You know, the only story people know is whatever a boy said on 20 interviews.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not at liberty legally to do it. You know what I mean? I fight my cases in court.
Son of Sam.
So, you know, and that was my issue with a lot of these podcasters as far as the Math Hoffas, the Akademiks. And just like I've said recently, I said I was so happy to see Akademiks catch that sexual charge. And the reason is because every time somebody brought a case, you was highly opinionated, spewing all kinds of fake shit. Nothing is real, and it could affect these people in court. And you weren't mindful of it. But now that you have a case, the media should talk about your case every day. So you should know how it feels. Because I don't think Akademiks rape nobody. But what do I know?
Right.
Let's keep discussing it, though. So you know how it feels when somebody accuses you of something and you feel like, yo, I didn't even do that. But you sitting there spewing everything negative about it.
Yeah. And not only that, you assuming in a lot of it. You're speculating. So you going
That's my thing. You're not going off that.
Yeah,
man.
they're breaking it down and going all in the muddy waters and make somewhere in there say allegedly or I don't really know, but you're discussing this shit in length. And this shit clearly can affect the minds of people that have to digest the information of these cases. You know what I mean? So it can sway people, man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and that's the thing. So, like, you got to do like Math Hoffa, who starts podcasting about me while I'm doing my trial. Just lying on me about a whole bunch of stuff. And he can never tell nobody what his beef with me is. Nobody. He can't say, yo, your beef with tax. Your beef with tax is that you did a video asking URL to suspend the battle rappers who jumped you. I said in return, this dude is pussy. He walked around bullying the whole battle place, beating everybody up, and he didn't want to get suspended. But the moment niggas put hands on you, you want them suspended.
Yeah.
His reply was, whatever it was, and then next thing I know, he was inviting me to his block. I comes to the dude block. He don't come outside. So now all the battle rappers use that against him, and now he's trying to make it seem like we have some way deeper beef than we have. So I'm sitting there trying to find out one day why he said something about my family, like, oh, you know, like niggas can't get to his family. And that was such a confident statement and brazen, because not too many people know who my family is. So I was sitting back like, that was kind of crazy, beloved.
Right.
And then what I did was I paid a private investigator to follow him. And then I then found at that moment that the girl he deals with now is a friend of mine for many years. Many years, she's my friend. Known her since I probably was 11 years old. Jenna, the girl that's in the videos with him, and it just broke my heart because I said, what did this girl tell this dude? Because out of everything you told him, you had to leave something else because he's highly confident and talk about me. So you had to leave a part of my description out.
Right. Yeah.
And it bothered me because it's like, oh, you don't like me because you feel like I have my dick and your girl ass. This is the issue here. You know that your girl like to ride dick with her ass, and you feel like she might have did it to me. So you want to keep coming at me. Bro, I don't even got no beef with you. I don't got no beef with that girl. I never even had an argument with that girl. So I was confused. So now, I'm like, I know this girl's whole family. Still follow some of them. And I'm sitting there like, yo, what did Jenna do? What did she say to this dude?
Right.
And Jenna was in jail. And I seen her sister, and she said, I'm not talking to her right now. And I said, what is she doing in jail? And she said, oh, she's working somewhere, did some fraud, went to jail, whatever. I don't know this girl for being like this, even going to jail. So I was kind of hurt for her.
Right.
I wrote the girl a letter. I said, yo, when you come home, I got you. I ended up finding out she was coming home in like 4 months. So I'm not gonna lie, I was like, damn, Jenna probably coming home right. She had a fat ass, she's pretty. So the day she comes home, she comes to me and I give her some bands, you heard? I gave her the bands out of my pocket. And then whatever bands I didn't have in my pocket, I took it to the bank and took it out the ATM.
Right.
And she told me that day, she said, I love you so much because none of my friends, nobody in my family, no brother, no sister did anything for me. So when I see her standing there with this dude that has so much to say about me, I'm like, wow.
Yeah. But you know what? So I think you're speaking about, because I did find this interesting, is that when Math had those interviews with Troy Ave, he would say stuff like, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. And your scenario with Troy Ave, especially at that time, was totally different than your scenario with Math Hoffa. That was pretty much some internet shit that...
I'm not Math Hoffa's enemy, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, if that's what you want to call me and you want to earn me as an enemy, that's kind of fucked up. I think you should just continue your career and take me off that list.
Yeah. Nah.
I don't want to be his enemy. So if you want to be my enemy, it's just because that's what you're choosing to do.
But I think when he was interviewing him at that time, I think that was more so his outlook on it. It's like, yo, me and this dude got problems, you and that dude got problems. I'ma sit you there. But you know, like you saying,
I expect that. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
But they also get plucked together too. And we love chicken over here. So it's like nobody cares about them types of dudes clicking up. We expect that.
Yeah.
I seen a photo one time on the internet of the rapper guy and like 7 dudes that I've had problems with. They was all together.
Right.
And a female was underneath the comment and she said, only people who know Tax would know why this picture is the funniest picture in the world. Because Tax is violating every single one of them.
Right.
And they try to form the Avengers. And I'm like, damn. Look at me, Professor X sitting in a wheelchair while all these people trying to get me.
Yo, that's crazy.
But I'm a cripple right now, so why would you niggas be trying to beat up a cripple so much?
Right. Right.
You want to make sure he stay crippled. If that nigga get his legs again, I got no legs.
Right.
I gotta go back to being crippled. Because when I was just walking out there, y'all was crippled.
And so they prohibit you from being able to speak freely, but he can speak?
Well, he's working with the government. When you have a deal with the government, you don't have a case. So you can talk freely. If I had a deal with the government, I would have never had to go to trial. So when I hear people say, yo, do you think TaxStone on Troy Ave? The moment you think that, you should erase it out your head. Because he would be here and I wouldn't.
Right.
The end. It's that deep. I wouldn't have to go to trial.
Right.
If I told on him.
Right.
See, it was only one person that went to trial out of this incident.
And
me.
Yeah, and you didn't use the self-defense on any of that. Like,
there's no self-defense in New York.
There's nothing like it.
And that's why it's a horrible place. They have some shit called justifiable homicide, right?
Right.
And the reason and the way you fight it, all right, the law states that you have to prove that you tried to retreat. You have to prove that you tried to call the police. If anyone has been in any type of incident, you know that these incidents can last seconds.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to retreat sometimes, and it's kind of hard to get to your phone to call the police. So this is why New York is such a dangerous place.
Right.
Because it's like you cannot protect yourself. This is why I'm very fond on moving to a red state as soon as I get out.
Yeah, that's some interesting shit, man. That's some interesting shit because for me, you know, when I look at the documentaries and the think pieces that goes on about that night, so many people are saying that, yo, that these guys said I'm about to get off or I'm going to do something to them. It's like, if that is the case, you know what I'm saying, then when does this turn into me just trying to make sure that they don't finish me? You know what I'm saying?
And listen, in no state would I be in jail. No other state, man. He admitted that him and the dude agreed to get at me. He said he winked his eye at him, and then the dude went to attack me.
That's what I'm saying. That's, to me, when I heard him say that, because he said that before, and I'm like, okay, when does that turn into them approaching this case with that behavior and trying to harm somebody, like, and that turns into self-defense? But you saying there's no law to protect that?
There's no law. Like, for instance, we was going back to why these laws are racist, right?
Right. Every
big city and municipality in the country that had too many Democrats, they outlawed guns. It was harder for you to get a gun in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. Now, the reason is because we don't want these educated blacks walking around with these guns.
Right.
We gonna turn the law on a felon in possession of a weapon. Federal government for the country. Now, New York State, you couldn't get a gun unless you could prove that you carried very large amounts of money in your business. You needed so many community people to write for you to get a gun license. The federal government just changed that. And they brought it back to the regular gun laws because they know that law was racist. The Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. So now in New York, you can actually go get a gun easier now. You can throw your permit out and you can go get a gun.
Right.
But guess what? They still did not make a law to protect the people who have the legal gun. So meaning you have a legal gun, a guy's in the park, he tries to rob you, you turn around, shoot him, you locked up for murder.
That's
because
crazy.
There's no law to protect the person who has the legal gun in New York either. Not just the nigga with the illegal gun. They don't have the law to protect the nigga with the legal gun.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's up to the prosecutor's discretion to say, well, he had a legal gun and he said that this guy did this and we put him bad.
And that depends on who you are and who this it end up on.
Exactly.
Damn. You know, and also when I hear him speak about the case, you know, I know people give him some kind of props. You know, I beat him up, took his gun, but my thing is, if that was true, if you ask me, you would have been shot. If
there you go.
If you had a gun,
there you go. You got a lot of common sense.
Yeah, like if I beat you up and take your gun and you right here in front of me, you a shot man. You know what I'm saying?
You're shot immediately.
Yeah. So I didn't understand that part of it. I'm like, yo, something happened in between that, because it ain't no way for you to say I beat him up and took his gun. Like, that's, for me, it didn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear
it
that,
only takes 1 second of you taking a gun out of a person's hand for you to be able to pull the trigger.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
That's easy. That shit is
so,
easy.
You know, that's just a part of a story that might end up in the air, that might come out someday.
Right.
But, you know, that's his story.
Right.
You know, he's a rapper. He got to look good.
Right. Yeah, but I'm saying it got to make sense too. Just like when I look at the Young and A stuff, like, you know, they claiming certain stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but the math ain't mathing if you asking me though. Some ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think no niggas drove from 3 hours to do that and got back on the road. Like, I don't know, like that don't sound good to me, but maybe it happened, you know, I don't know. But sometimes, like you said, the rap community, they glorify that shit, and so they stand on it. I don't really understand it.
Yeah, but you know, well, you know, violence is currency to a lot of these niggas. And when they see the video, it's like, oh, yo, he was busting his gun. And that's the same way he felt. But he didn't feel that way once he realized that he would have to go to jail for doing it.
Mm.
And he's never been to jail. So they look at me like I'm the wrong person. Oh, this dude been in jail for violence. This dude only had a suspended license in his life.
Right.
So, you know, and even being from New York, like, I'm pretty sure it's guys that don't have a record in New York, but for you to say that you was in the streets you was in,
yeah, you don't got no press. Yeah, that ain't, yeah. To me,
this is a police state. New York is a police state. There's police on every fucking corner.
Yeah.
And you was doing all this? Come on, my nigga.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to be mindful of it. He says 2 different things. He says that I came in there and shot every single person. The district attorney goes with this. He says he beat the shit out of me. They go with it. My thing is, he's getting jumped. It wasn't no you beat the shit out of me.
Right.
It was mad niggas beating the shit out of me.
Right.
And then in the midst of y'all beating the shit out of me, y'all lost.
Right.
I went home and then went to Atlanta the next day to go do the pull up with Day Day. And y'all spent time in the hospital. Now, how you spent time in the hospital is where everybody's lying at. This is where he's going trying to protect himself and others because there was 4 DNAs on that gun. The person who died, him, me, and 2 unknowns, 5 DNA. And 2 unknowns is only because these dudes haven't had felons, so they don't have their DNA on.
Right, right.
So how do y'all come to the common ground that I am the only one to use this weapon?
Right.
Because it fits your narrative. They had a beef on the internet. His friend died. He was with him. So he didn't shoot his friend. Hacks had to shoot his friend. Oh, yeah? So this is what's going on.
Right.
Me, I'm not from where we sit behind the courtroom and talk to district attorneys. I'm not from where I discuss things with the police. I discuss it with my lawyer, and I allow the lawyer to fight because he's an officer of the court.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't really deal and give. Like, for instance, this dude put out a letter and said, Tax snitched on me. When I see everybody's hitting me on the computer on the feds, yo, bro, niggas is saying Troy Ave put paperwork out on you. I said, how the fuck could it be paperwork out on me? And the case ain't even stopped. But I wasn't even indicted yet.
Right.
So how would it be paperwork? All I got is a gun charge right now. So my lawyer put a bail assessment letter in, and he said there's 2 parties involved in this crime. Roland Collins, which is Troy Ave, me, Daryl Campbell, which is TaxStone, and he basically said, if this guy is on camera shooting, and he got caught with 3 guns after, why does he get a bail? And my client got caught with no guns, and my client was never shooting on camera. There's no evidence of him ever shooting. How does he end up with no bail, but this guy ends up with a bail?
Right.
This guy then says that I snitched on him by saying he was shooting in a nightclub. Everybody sees you shooting in a nightclub, my nigga.
Yeah.
You're on camera. Are you going to go in court and say that's not you? You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have 30,000 sheep like, oh shit, you right, Troy. He just told on you. No, telling is offering information in a criminal investigation. Unknown information. You understand? So I remember one day I got pulled over with my friend. He had a gun on him. He told me, I don't got no gun on me. I came out the store with 2 Dutch Masters, and the police see me with the Dutch Masters and said, I know y'all got weed in the car. When they go to search for the weed, I see in my man's face that he might have something else in the car. I said, bro, what happened? He said, yo, I got the grip in there. I said, why the fuck would you have the grip in the car knowing we was going to this hot-ass store? You better let them know that shit is yours, because I turned myself in for a gun charge in 6 days.
Right.
I'm going to prison. So the police found a gun, and they go to him and they say, he was the driver. They say, yo, whose gun is this? He said, it's mine. He said, whose gun? He said, it's mine. Then the dude comes to the back of the car and he says, Mr. Campbell, whose gun is this? I said, he just told you who gun it was. And this is my statement.
Yeah.
This nigga locked up for however many years, and he tells people, yo, TaxStone on me.
So
And it shows people the statement of me saying to the cops, he already told you what it was.
So this is
So
on
who the fuck is he?
This is on the scene of the crime.
Exactly. This is on the scene of the crime.
You are watching It's Up There Podcast. Go to It's Up There Podcast YouTube for more. You are watching It's Up There Podcast. Go to It's Up There Podcast YouTube for more.